shortstop number 13, Henry Shipley. Batting second, the second baseman number 6, Noah Brooks. Batting third, right fielder number 14, Nicholas Benson. Batting eighth, center fielder number 17, Andrew Shaft. Batting fifth, first baseman number 1, number 11, Arthur Johnson. Batting sixth, designated hitter number 37, Kevin Collins. Batting seventh, third baseman number 46, Cole Wells. Batting eighth, left fielder number 31, Ryan Sanchez. Batting ninth, catcher number 16, Shane McGuire. Starting pitchers tonight for your HarbourCats. From Auburn, number 19, Jack Bowman.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good today, thank you. Yourself? No problem. Camera 3, get the feed in the truck.
Today is Rush Hour Run Race,
That's what you never get away from the story. So under the soccer ground stands there, that's called Pippins, or where it's outside the HarbourCats school. That's when it was really hot. We shut everything down there. So that's when Connor and Jessica HarbourCats were sitting there just watching guys asking balls. And they want to stay over and get balls. It's pretty funny. Yeah, so I didn't know it. I accidentally turned it on. Yeah, well, I have one of those. Yeah, they're good for camping. Yeah, that's good. Donna, I'll tell you.
I have a shirt that
No, I do, but it's, I've had 3 hours sleep. Yeah, you're right. Well, kitty are cool. Pablo Escobar stuff.
They're delivering it to the front right now.
The only reason I have it is one password. So we go on and I try and they would well, I said, I don't know those passwords, I know some of the ideas of passwords. So it's
That's good. Yeah, I got you. Just like quick ones. Yeah.
What's your name?
Mitch.
Mitch. Last name?
Ellis.
Ellis? Mitch Ellis?
My name's Ali. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Camera 3 to booth. You ready to record a couple quick questions for an interview? It's gonna pull the feed up. So we try to mix it in with the broadcast or maybe the highlight reel or something like that.
Sweet.
It's kind of cool to get the perspective of players from somewhere else.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Is your first time in Victoria?
Yeah, it is.
Right on. Have you been up to Canada before?
I've been a couple times actually, yeah. I went to Alberta and Lake Louise and shit. It was
Nice.
It was nice. It was nice.
Right on. All right, he's asked me to save the questions because he likes it. So Mitch Ellis?
Yeah.
They signed up for one game.
Just like one
Camera 3, what was that you on it?
I don't know.
Okay, we're good to go. All right, this is Ali for Go Live Broadcast. I'm here with Mitch Ellis from the Yakima Valley Pippins. Mitch, is your first time in Victoria?
First time in Victoria, yeah.
But I hear not the first time in Canada. You've been to Lake Louise and some other
Yeah.
beautiful places.
Yeah, lucky enough to get to Alberta and Jasper and Lake Louise. It's
Right
awesome.
on. So where do you play out of? You're playing out of Yakima right now, but
Yep.
what college are you in?
I go to Western Illinois.
Western Illinois? And where are you from originally?
I'm from Diamond Creek, Australia.
Australia. A lot of Australians in BC, and we're glad to have you here.
Hey, no worries. Good to be back in the Commonwealth.
Right on. Well, good luck for tonight's game. It's been a high-scoring series. What do you think you guys need to do to win tonight?
Probably just pitch and play good defense, and then the bats will come for sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mitch. We wish you a good game, and hope people tune in to Go Live broadcast to see you play.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much. No worries. Camera 3, what was that? You on it? Okay, we're good to go. All right, this is Ali for Go Live Broadcast. I'm here with Mitch Ellis from the Yakima Valley Pippins. Mitch, is your first time in Victoria?
First time in Victoria, yeah.
But I hear not the first time in Canada. You've been to Lake Louise and some other beautiful places.
Yeah, lucky enough to get to Alberta and Jasper and Lake Louise.
Right on. So where do you play out of? You're playing out of Yakima right now, but what college are you in?
I go to Western Illinois.
Western Illinois? And where are you from originally?
I'm from Diamond Creek, Australia.
Australia. A lot of Australians in BC, and we're glad to have you here.
Hey, no worries. Good to be back in the Commonwealth.
Right on. Well, good luck for tonight's game. It's been a high-scoring series. What do you think you guys need to do to win tonight?
Probably just pitch and play good defense, and then the bats will come for sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mitch. We wish you a good game, and hope people tune in to Go Live broadcast to see you play.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much. No worries. So Mitch Ellis?
Yeah.
I signed up for one game. Just like 1 minute.
Camera 3, what was that? You on it?
I don't know.
Okay, we're good to go. All right, this is Ali for Go Live. For Go Live broadcast. Okay, we're good to go. All right, this is Ali for Go Live broadcast. I'm here with Mitch Ellis from the Yakima Valley Pippins. Mitch, is your first time in Victoria?
First time in Victoria, yeah.
But I hear not the first time in Canada. You've been to Lake Louise and some other beautiful people. Tune in to Go Live broadcast to see you play.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much. No worries.
loop if you want to, and if ever anything we can do for you.
Meyer was here last.
Yeah.
Jimmy Boyce was here last. JC Boyce is what? Former rep.
Yeah, I know both.
Yeah, two of her daughters.
They have a family member playing for the Yakima.
Yeah. Jimmy was telling me we're supposed to be cheering for it too. One of the daughters like,
Yeah. Well,
oh, nice people. I like Jim and JC.
oh yeah. I haven't officially spent time with JC
Check
yet,
in.
just because he's so busy.
I'm here.
You know, I'm texting and stuff.
Interview with Nick Ellis from Pippins, the boys that game.
I think I can tell him, and if you can tell.
Guys, can we do a quick radio check?
No. They said something very rude.
I hear.
I said, that was this on?
I don't know.
I said no. I didn't say anything rude. I said no. This is the 1, 2. Check, 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 check. How's that for the gain? Oh. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This is the handheld. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. And now the headset.
Headset check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Headset check.
Yeah, just turn down that radio a bit.
Just don't talk so much and you wouldn't be such a pain.
Alright, we're gonna get going in a couple minutes, guys, so watch my cue.
Okay, a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best.
Bullet was the original best. But I'll never admit it.
Thanks, guys. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. We welcome you to this series between HarbourCats and the Yakima Valley Pippins. I'm saying things like these things that sound long to us. This is members of the team. It was also the All-Star game. The winner, the average winner, and the and representing travel all the way out to the also want to make sure that you're aware that as radio fans of the game, after sitting with the team record 16 last night as well, we're going to enter the track to tonight is tonight. I think the first one, let you know, we got a brand new program that's going to be out tonight. Conservation and last first basis. We really want to go down the programs on the line and maybe we can get autographs from that program as well. One issue we'll look at is the trip to Los Angeles. My going up there, that's 25, I believe. 25 with that information. We're going to go on some trip to Los Angeles at the end of the year. Everybody can live with it. But you got a chance to do your videos. And thank you very much to the Flight Center for sports sponsoring our appreciation of that opportunity for our contest this year. Today's question will be on the team story game day. We want to thank the people especially for Ron over there. Thank you. We want to thank everybody especially for the team story. A lot of things in the community. Not even long and a lot of everything. Let me give you a little whistle list here again. You're really welcome to Antoine's Closet. You're really welcome to see Changes on Songs and Rock Rock as well. We both as well as we are Saturday on Los and Peter with the team and Central Island Sponsors Association. And then we want to make really involved as well. Super Rock, and they really like all over the rock. Let me tell you a little bit about it as well. In the exercise, talking to the rock, the annual reservation money for United States programs for children and the children rock teams that was one hand of Vancouver Route to the other for 1,000 kilometers with 27 years meeting along the way. And since that day, about the room for this team, Tour Rock has made more than $23 billion for the United States research programs. That's definitely worth applause right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, those innings you're going to be leading. So you'll do that.
And you say call it the Go Live broadcast rather than the HarbourCats Game of the Week on Shaw TV?
You all seen their coach is over from Yakima. Daisy, your battle over front of you. Thank you very much. Cole Weiss and some of our players who signed that ball for you. Thank you very much. Thank you for Boston Dancers for the Rock, and we're not sure you want your responses to this night game today. If you want to stay out here, we're going to get ready for the next set. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we're asking please rise and do your cats singing of the national anthems, performed by Girls Night Out.
Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to the Victoria HarbourCats Game of the Week on Shaw TV, the Go Live broadcast. I'm Steve Duffy, along with Jonathan Hodson supplying the call, and Jonathan has tonight's lineups.
Once again, welcome into Go Live broadcast coverage of the Victoria HarbourCats and the Yakima Valley Pippins, the third of a 3-game series, the rubber match tonight after these teams have traded wins in a pair of slugfests. 12-6 for Yakima back on Tuesday and 13-10 for the HarbourCats in last night's game. The lineups first for the visiting Yakima Valley Pippins coming in at 2-3, fourth place in the second half South Division. Lineup written out by Marcus McKinney. Leading off, the first baseman Dylan Plew. Batting second, the right fielder Johnny DeLuca. Batting third, the left fielder Brad Beasley. Fourth is the DH Lucas Denny. Batting fifth, the center fielder Tora Otska. Batting sixth, third baseman Mitch Ellis. Seventh is the second baseman Tyler Bassetti. Batting eighth, the catcher Tyler Sandoval. And batting nine, the shortstop Nick Playa. The starter, who you will see in the bottom of the first inning, is Taylor Dullard, the right-hander. The HarbourCats just now taking the field in their home whites. We'll go through their lineup 1 through 9 very quickly while we still have a moment. Leading off, the shortstop Harry Shipley. Batting second, the second baseman Noel Pruitt. Batting third, the right fielder Hunter Vansaw. Fourth is the the center fielder Andrew Shaps. Batting fifth, the first baseman Tucker Johnson. Batting sixth, the DH Kevin Collard. Batting seven, third baseman Cole Weiss. Batting eighth, the left fielder Riley Zajac. And batting ninth is the catcher Shane McGuire. Left-hander warming up right now is Jack Owen.
It's interesting that with the All-Star break coming up, Jonathan, we got 5 members of the HarbourCat to the teams, 4 of them pitchers, in Travis Kuhn, Adam McKillican, and Indigo Diaz, all righties, along with left-handy Jack Owen and the right fielder Hunter Vansaw, all going to the All-Star game at Yakima County Stadium next week as we speak. The All-Star break starting with the Home Run Derby on Monday and then the game itself on Tuesday. It's funny you mentioned that this is the rubber game of this 3-game series, the third game. Yakima won the opener 12-6 in a game where the HarbourCats scored all 6 of their runs in the first inning, and then it was all zeros after that. It looked like a winning lottery ticket. And then last night in game 2, the HarbourCats battled back and scored almost in every inning to rattle off a 13-10 victory in a slugfest, as you mentioned. It was not what you call a defensive jewel in game 2, but the HarbourCats rallied and picked the way to win.
We'll see if the pitching can settle in a little bit here tonight, and this is potentially the best of the 5 All-Stars in Jack Owen.
Just about ready to get underway with the opening pitch of tonight's ballgame. Dylan Plew, the first baseman at the plate for the Pippins, and he promptly hits one to straightaway center field, and ready to receive that ball, Andrew Shaps for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out.
That's a great start for Southpaw Jack Owen, the freshman commit of Auburn. 5 games, 4 starts, 25 1/3 innings, 15 hits, 27 strikeouts against 6 walks. He is 3-0 with a 1.06 ERA.
Good numbers, and first pitch to Johnny DeLuca, the right fielder, at a called strike for strike 1. Big swing for strike 2, so the quick count of 0-2 on the batter, who is Johnny DeLuca, the right fielder for the Yakima Valley Pippins. You mentioned so far in this half of the season, Yakima Valley is 4th in the Southern Division, I should say, at 2-3 overall. They are 15-17, good for 4th place. And of course, these teams are battling for playoff positioning now. They pretty much have to win their respective divisions in order to get to the playoffs, and we'll just see how this second half plays out. We're about half a dozen games in, and the HarbourCats so far in this second half are tops in the North Division at 6-3 after finishing and they're second overall at 20-16.
Good at-bat underway here by Johnny DeLuca as he works the count full. DeLuca hitting .273 with 9 RBIs. As he swings and misses at strike 3, the throw down completes the second out.
now at the plate for the Pippins, the left fielder Brad Beasley. So it looks like our starting pitcher, Jack Owen, off to a good start. Looks like he's got his range early, and he's so far, I know it's very early, 2 outs, but he's on top of things so far.
Jack Owen in his last 3 starts has allowed just 10 base hits in 19 innings pitched.
Big strike for strike one, and the last couple of games between these two teams, hits have been pouring out. I think there were about 26 or 27 hits last night, and a lot the night before, a lot of errors too. So like last night there were 23 runs. It was a 13-10 victory for the HarbourCats after an 18-run night before, 12-6 for the Pippins.
All strikes in this top of the first from Jack Owen.
And he called him out. Owen caught the outside of that strike zone for strike 3. That ends the top half of the first inning. You're watching HarbourCats baseball on the Go Live broadcast. They don't mention shot, Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park as we are going into the bottom of the first inning. HarbourCats hosting the Pippins, and Jonathan has the lowdown on the Yakima Valley pitcher.
Starting right-hander tonight, Taylor Dollard for Yakima takes his second start of the season. He's 3-0 in 3 appearances, 1 start, 9 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, with a 2.79 ERA. He's out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo as he deals the first pitch to Harry Shipley.
Harry Shipley, the shortstop, leading off as usual for the HarbourCats. I think he's been leading off for pretty much all season long. And he fouls off that second pitch, evening the count at 1-1.
Harry Shipley comes in hitting .281 with 12 RBIs and a good approach as a leadoff man, coming in with 17 walks against just 11 strikeouts.
Outside on that pitch for ball 2, and Shipley got on base, and he's been on base quite a bit in this series. They got on the 13-10 victory, but after the first inning of the opening game, with the HarbourCats bat seemed to go silent after that first 6-run inning, and then they stranded an awful lot of people on base.
Harry Shipley is having a good series. He is 4 for 6 with a pair of doubles and 3 RBIs. He's also been walked 4 times.
Pops that one up. It goes to the left of third base and just out of play. So that's keeps the count at 3-2.
Shipley, Pruitt, and Vansaw will bat in this bottom of the first for Brian McRae's team. As you mentioned, last half inning, Home games are starting to run short. The HarbourCats are 11-9 in Victoria this year.
Big swing by Harry Shipley, and strikes out for his first at bat. So that brings up Noah Pruitt, the second baseman. And Pruitt's been a pleasant surprise lately.
Noah Pruitt batting .365 in 15 games. Also some defensive flexibility, playing second and third, mainly third, but he's at second tonight. And also has taken 5 appearances on the mound.
So he's very versatile. Pruitt playing second tonight. Takes first strike call.
Pruitt's a rising sophomore out of the University of San Diego.
Batting .365 on the season, so he probably hasn't had that many at-bats, but his numbers are good. They're solid. Big swing, and he hits it to short, and that put out at first. So
First play of the night for Nick Playa on that ground ball. Playa had a tough night last night, committing a couple of costly errors.
But right at home in that one. Routine play. They practice that all spring training and taking ground balls and throwing them to first. And that brings to the plate Hunter Vansaw. All-star bound Hunter Vansaw, the right fielder. Takes the first strike outside, or takes the first pitch outside for a ball.
Vansaw was last week's West Coast League Player of the Week with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs in the week, batting 11 for 21. He comes in batting .389 with 4 home runs and 19 RBIs in just 16 games played.
Product of Mississippi State with good numbers at the plate, solid in the field, and getting ready to receive a third pitch. A bit high, 87 miles an hour on that one, on the gun. That moves the count to 2-1. 2 out in the bottom of the first inning, scoreless so far. The HarbourCats, Yakima Valley on the Go Live broadcast. 2-1 pitch, that evens the count at 3-1, as that was a high pitch for a ball. Another beautiful night here at the big park in Victoria. Sunshine, slight breeze heading outfield. We've been blessed with some good baseball weather lately, that's for sure.
It's been absolutely perfect the entire homestand.
Foul back, 3-2, the full count now with 2 out on Hunter Vansaw.
The HarbourCats playing a 6-game league homestand, and they'll also play a couple of non-league games here on the weekend against the Burnaby Bulldogs.
And of course, that all leads into the All-Star break next week. 3-2 the count now. Here comes the pitch. And a big swing from Vansaw, fouls it off, stays alive.
This is a good at-bat here by Hunter Vansaw after Shipley and Pruitt went down relatively quickly. Both pitchers looked comfortable in this first inning. Hunter Vansaw trying to break it up a little bit and become the first runner.
And he takes the ball and he walks to first. So that brings up Andrew Shaps, the center fielder.
Walks have not been much of an issue in limited action so far for Dullard. That's just his second walk in 10 innings pitched. And here's a man who is enjoying a great series for the HarbourCats in center fielder Andrew Shaps. Shaps hit a home run last night, is 6 for 8 offensively in the series, and also pitched last night.
Busy guy, and he's hitting .500 out of Chico State. And takes a ball 1.
Shaps 2 home runs and 8 RBIs in just 9 games played, hitting 15 for 30 as you alluded to.
Want to know the count? 2 out in the bottom of the first. Called strike, 1-1.
Jason Leone coaching third base for the HarbourCats. Troy Burtwhistle over at first base.
Vansaw, the runner on first, and Shaps would love to at least advance him, at least. It's big swing, and it's slicing towards the left field foul line. and it's just out of play. Sec puts the count at 1-2. Shaps another difficult out for the Yakima pitching staff and pitcher Taylor Dollar.
He's trying to battle with 2 strikes there. We saw the runner Hunter Vansaw bluff at first base on that pitch. With the runner at first base and 2 outs, Brian McCray has been aggressive in the past with trying to get the runner into scoring position, but not sure if you're going to see that now with 2 strikes.
Dollar getting ready to pitch and fouled back,
and he was off on the pitch.
Vansaw was halfway to second by the time Shaps connected with that foul. So it looks like they got the hit and run going.
Vansaw has stolen 4 bases this summer, has not been thrown out.
So 1-2 the count with 2 out in the bottom of the first. Andrew Shaps being tough at the plate. Pitch outside, 2-2 the count. Vansaw tantalizing the pitcher to throw it to first, but not quite a big enough leadoff for the pitcher to make the move.
Dullard still just 1 pitch away from ending the inning, but it's a tough hitter in Andrew Shaps.
Pitch, Vansaw is running to second and dead to rights. So Vansaw tagged out at second. So after 1 inning, it's the Yakima Valley Pippins nothing, the Victoria HarbourCats nothing. You're watching the Go Live broadcast. Back in a minute. Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park. You're watching the Go Live broadcast featuring the Victoria HarbourCats home to the Yakima Valley Pippins. We're about to start the top of the second inning, scoreless after 1 complete inning.
And after a couple of lengthy baseball games, the first 2 games of this series both exceeded 3 hours. It's got to be a breath of fresh air for the 2 head coaches to see a couple of quick half innings in the first.
Well, in the first game of this series, Yakima scored a run in the first, and then Victoria scored 6 in the first, and that inning took almost 50 minutes to play. I thought it was interesting, though, Jack Owen just pitching in a nice curveball for a called strike 1. Batter is Lucas Denny, the designated hitter, at the plate for the Pippins.
And Denny was the man of the hour last night for Yakima. 2 home runs, 4 hits, and 4 RBIs.
Big swing and strikes it out.
My, does Jack Owen look good early. 3 strikeouts in the 4 batters he has faced, and he's throwing all strikes right now. No fear from the high school commit of the University of Auburn.
Now at the plate for the Pippins, Tora Otska. I guess I'll pass that properly. Big swing, and it goes just over the shortstop into left field, and Otsuka gets a base hit. So
aggressive approach there from Otsuka, as he knows Jack Owen is going to be around the plate, so he swings at the first pitch and comes up with Yakima's first hit.
Mitch Ellis now coming to the plate, third baseman for the Pippins. 1 out. We're in the top of the second inning, scoreless between the HarbourCats and Yakima Valley. Rubber match of the 3-game series, the two teams having split the first 2 games, both of them slugfests. Tried the throw to first, couldn't quite get the lead runner. Otsuka.
The catcher Shane McGuire being aggressive behind the dish, and he's been that way all season for the HarbourCats. McGuire is part of a catching family. His brother Reese was a former first-round pick of the Blue Jays, now playing Double-A, and his other brother Cash is a collegiate player at Seattle U.
One thing about left-handers with a runner on, you never know if he's going to make that smooth move to first. Lefties don't have to worry about throwing across their body, and can do it in one swift motion and sometimes catch a runner unawares. Like that. But Otsuka ready for that one, diving back to the bag in plenty of time.
Otsuka has 5 stolen bases on the year for Yakima. He is in a 4-way tie for the team lead.
Chopper to second, and then it probably, and he boots it. Pruitt boots it and allows the runners to be safe at first and second. Otsuka second, and Ellis at first. So
that wasn't hit hard off the bat of Ellis. It was going to be a tough play for Noah Pruitt to go to first base, as it was hit quite softly. But as the runner and the ball were coming in at similar timings, that may have messed up the concentration of Pruitt. So that's an error on the second baseman, and they'll be first and second.
So the plate now, Tyler Bossetti, the second baseman, with runners at first and second, 1 out. HarbourCats have got to avoid these big innings. They did a pretty good job of that last night after enduring some chipping away in game 1 after scoring 6 runs in the first, and then they were blanked after that. Last night there were numbers right across the board for both teams, so want to avoid the big inning the HarbourCats do.
At one point, Yakima had scored in 11 of the first 13 innings in this series, and of those 13 innings, they had scored more than 1 run 7 times.
Inside to Bassetti, so that said 1 and 2 is the count now.
Bassetti batting .262 with the 9 RBIs.
Curveball caught the corner. Nice pitch there. Jack Owen tossing a nice curveball, and that strikes out Bassetti.
Already the 4th strikeout for Owen. Has 2 of them looking and 2 of them swinging, as he tries to work through this jam here in the second.
Tyler Sandoval, the catcher at the plate now for Yakima. And takes a big swing of the first pitch for an 0-1 count. 2 out, 2 runners on, first and second. So Owen would love to get out of this little jam that he finds himself in, with 2 runners on and 2 out in the top of the second. Outside, ball 1.
Part of what makes Jack Owen so tough is he's a very projectable left-hander. Going into his freshman year, he's a left-hander that already throws 87-89, which makes him very tough.
Curved that one in for strike 2. Another nice curveball curving in.
Then he mixes in that breaking pitch.
Call that a nibbler. Just nibbles at the corners of the strike zone, just enough to get it in for the strike call. And that one's outside for evening the count up at 2 and 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out in the top of the second.
Otsuka at second base and Ellis at first.
Pops that up, but that's popped out of play. So Sandoval stays alive at 2-2.
Owen working a little bit harder here in the second after a quick first.
Big swing and a miss, and strikes out Tyler Sandoval. So, after the top of the second innings, it is the HarbourCats nothing, the Yakima Valley Pippins nothing. You're watching the Go Live broadcast. Back in a moment. Sure, that's going across the broadcast.
Jessica Gooley, who is retired seaman in the military since 2002, and for the Mediterranean Sea on the road, welcome to President Canada, Jessica Gooley, who is service very much as a Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park. You're watching the HarbourCats on the Go Live broadcast. We're starting off the bottom of the second inning, scoreless between the HarbourCats and the Yakima Valley Pippins. Andrew Shaps, the center fielder, now taking the plate for the HarbourCats for the first batter in the bottom of the second.
Andrew Shaps leading off after he was at the plate when Hunter Bansaw was caught stealing at second to end the bottom of the first. Right-hander Taylor Dullard for Yakima posted a 1-2-3 first inning with a strikeout and a walk with the help of that caught stealing.
And Shaps hits a solid ball to center fielder, and he gets on first base. A good solid base hit for Shaps to lead off the bottom of the second.
Shaps stays hot. He's now 7 for 9 in this series.
That brings up the first baseman Tucker Johnson to the plate.
Johnson hitting .295. The rising senior out of Baylor has a home run and 8 RBIs.
And Johnson gets under one, but that might fall to shallow center, and it makes a nice diving catch. The Yakima Valley center fielder, Tora Tsuka, and that was a nice effort by him to put Tucker Johnson out. So it was a short fly out, but Tsuka had to run a fair amount to get that for the out.
Good speed and a good read there for Tora Otska, enabling him to make the sliding catch. So I'll put a star on that play.
Kevin Collard, the designated hitter at the plate now. He's batting .284 out of the University of San Diego. One out in the bottom of the second.
This is Collard's first action of the series. Brian McRae told him he was going to have a couple of days off to work on being a little more aggressive in his batting practice approach in an effort to get his power stroke going a little bit more.
Pitch out, almost a pitch out. It looked like Johnson was, or I should say Shaps was a threat to go, but 1-0 the count.
Andrew Shaps is a threat. He's 2 for 4 stealing bases, but does possess good speed.
The comebacker And it's booted by the shortstop, so that puts runners at first and second as Collard gets a one base hit.
And that looked like that took a bite out of Taylor Dollard. Looked like it hit him in the left leg, and he definitely was favoring it for a good 5-10 seconds after it hit him. It ricocheted past the shortstop, Nick Playa. So out is Sandoval to check on his right-hander. And now Bo Kearns, the pitching coach, is out to check on the health of Dollard.
Similar thing happened a couple of weeks ago to Claire Eccles. She took one off the ankle, and she was a little tender on the ankle for a while, and Claire got the start in the middle game of this series, so she's pitching well again.
Setting more West Coast League history. First female to start a West Coast League game last night. Her 5th appearance overall.
Cole Weiss, third baseman at the plate now for the HarbourCats. One out, runners on first and second. So this is a potential for a big offensive inning for the HarbourCats. Weiss takes a high outside ball one.
Cole Weiss, the rising sophomore out of UNC Wilmington, hitting .282 with a couple of home runs and 8 RBIs.
Want to know the count. Weiss waiting for the next pitch. Takes a big swing. It slices foul, probably just out of play to the left-hand side. And that evens the count at 1-1.
This is the first game of the series in which both teams did not score in the first inning. In game 1, it was 6-1 HarbourCats after 1. And last night it was 3-2 HarbourCats after 1.
Right now, zeros across. We've got 2 hits. Yakima Valley has 1 so far. We've committed 1 error. Sandoval throws to third and gets Shaps trying to steal. So Shaps is thrown out at second, or a third, I should say.
Second caught stealing for the catcher, Tyler Sandoval. He's having a good night, 2 for 2, throwing out runners as he nabs Andrew Shaps.
Cole Weiss still at the plate. But that's 2 out now. Weiss sits at foul on the first base side, and the count's 1 and 2.
Might have been a miscue there from Andrew Shaps running as he was thrown out by a wide margin by Sandoval. And after the out, we saw third base coach Jason Leone gesture a little bit as if he was not happy with what happened. So potentially miscommunication on the base pass.
Could have been a potentially big offensive inning for the HarbourCats. Still got a runner on first, but there are 2 out now. And Cole Weiss takes another ball. It's 2 and 2 the count, with 2 out. Collard still at first base, hoping to advance. There's a big swing by Weiss, and looks like a routine ground out to first, and Weiss grounds out. So after 2 complete innings, it's Yakima Valley 0, Victoria 0. We'll now go to highlights of last night's game 1 or game 2 between these 2 ball clubs on Go Live broadcast.
Got Tucker Johnson to pop out, and Chaps 3-1 pitches through the wickets of Cope again. Coming in to score is Harry Shipley from third base. A double play ball to help limit the damage. Throw to first as Shaps was off. Now he's caught up. We'll keep an eye on third base. The throw is wild into left field. Picking up and scoring is Catrola. Staying at second is Shaps. And it's a tie game on a miscue from Yakima. Payoff pitch to Bonner. Swung on hit to center field. Stepping up to make the play is Otska, taking at third base. The throw is through to the plate, but late. Coming in to score from third is Shaps on the fly ball of Bonner, and the HarbourCats have a 3-2 lead.
Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park on the
got Tucker
HarbourCats
Johnson.
Go Live broadcast. Steve Duffy along with Jonathan Hodson. We're starting the top of the third inning. A scoreless tie so far.
As we go to the third inning, Jack Owen has been as good as we've ever seen him, and that is saying something. 5 strikeouts in 2 scoreless innings, allowing just 1 hit.
There's an 86-mile-an-hour fastball for called strike 1. At the plate now is Nick Playa, the shortstop for the Yakima Valley Pippins. High chopper goes to short. Should be a routine third. Oh, he drew the first baseman off the bag, so Playa is safe.
That's a top throw there for Harry Shipley as he was in the grass in center field. A long throw on a slow developing play. We'll see what they score it. And it is an infield single for Nick Playa.
That brings up the top of the order, Dylan Plew, the first baseman.
Plew flew out in the first inning.
Third ball strike for Jack Owen. As you say, Jonathan, he looks like he's really on top of his game tonight.
Owen Fearless, not a guy that's going to nibble a whole lot, has a lot of confidence in his stuff, and that is what pitching coach Mike Spears is looking for.
A little bit high for ball 1. 1-1, no out. There's a runner at first.
Dylan Plew did not play last night, but in game 1 of this series, he was 2 for 4 with a couple of walks.
Looks like there's a stolen base there. It's in time. The throw is just a tad late as a sort of a pass ball.
Fastball on Shane McGuire as he failed to receive that pitch cleanly, the fastball. So a rare miscue on Shane McGuire moves the runner up to scoring position.
Lying out at second base with none out. We're in the top of the third inning. Dylan Plew. Now the HarbourCats have a bit of a meeting as the catcher, Shane McGuire, goes out to have a chat with Jack Owen.
We'll go around the defense for you quickly here in the top of the third. Shane McGuire catches Jack Owen. The infield, third to first, Weiss, Shipley, Pruitt, and Johnson. And the outfield, left to right, Zajac, Shaps, and Vansall.
2-1 is the count with none out. As Dylan Plew is proving to be a bit of a handful for Jack Owen, but see what happens after a little chat from the catcher. Curved that one in for strike 2. He's got his curveball working well tonight.
That's valuable for Jack Owen to have that breaking pitch for strikes, and it's been over for strikes most of the night.
So 2-2 the count. Playa's on second. That's a ball, so that makes the count 3-2. Runner on second, none out.
Base is open. Johnny DeLuca on deck. Struck out in the first inning.
And Plew fouls that back, keeping the count at 3-2.
On deck, DeLuca struck out tonight, but is a tough man to strike out with just 11 on the season.
Owen with the pitch. And Plew drives it, doesn't get it out of the infield. A nice snag by the second baseman. Heck of a grab, a diving grab by second baseman Noah Pruitt. Pruitt trying to get Plew, but stopped it from going into the outfield, and it puts runners at first and third now.
For the moment, that play saves a run. Great effort going up the middle from Noah Pruitt to keep that ball on the infield. So Yakima, without getting a ball out of the infield, has first and third, nobody out.
At the plate now is Johnny DeLuca, the right fielder. Big swing and a miss for
Foul
strike
tip
one.
back, so the runners stay.
Comebacker to Owen. Keeps the runner at third. They got him in a rundown between third and home and tags him. So we got runners at first and third again, but they got the runner, Nick Playa, in a rundown between third base and home plate. So that's the first out of the top of the third inning. But that did advance the runners, or the runner anyway, first and third.
That's a very alert play from Jack Owen, getting that comebacker, and his first look was to third base, and Nick Playa was caught in the middle and rushing it over to third base to close the ground, and they execute the rundown. So a second straight play for the HarbourCats that momentarily saves the run.
Brad Beasley at the plate, or Johnny DeLuca, I should say. Beasley at the plate now.
The runner is now Plew at third base and DeLuca at first.
Owen with the big pitch and right outside. That's 2 balls and no strike. 2-0 the count.
Yakima out hitting the HarbourCats 3-2 to this point.
And Owen gets that one in there for strike one. 2-1 the count.
Yakima has scored first in both games of this series. They're trying to continue that trend here tonight.
Jack Owen looks like he's in good command of his arm tonight. Another comebacker. He gets the runner at second, just a little late at first, but run scores.
Dylan Plew scores on that ground ball. DeLuca was forced at second, but they just didn't have enough time to get it over to first base to get Beasley. So 1-6 on the putout of DeLuca.
And once again, the Pippins strike first blood in this series.
3 straight now.
2 comebackers in a row to Owen, and he tried to hold the runner at third, but then he went to put the lead runner out at second and third. Beasley is thrown out at second, trying to steal second. So after the top of the third inning, it is the Yakima Valley Pippins 1, the Victoria HarbourCats 0. We'll continue with highlights in Game 2 on the Go Live broadcast.
Payoff pitch to Bonner, swung on hit to center field. Stepping up to make the play, Zotska tagging at third base. The throw is through to the plate, but late. Coming in to score from third is Shaps on the fly ball of Bonner, and the HarbourCats have a 3-2 lead. And my, how an inning can change. Strikeout for Claire Eccles shuts down the Pippins in the second. They go scoreless after the leadoff single. It's been a reliever all season. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the right side, through for a base hit. Sam Cachola drives in Shane McGuire with 2 outs. And the HarbourCats now lead 5-2. And they have scored 2 runs in 6 of them. Ripped fair ball down the right field line. That'll nestle in the corner for DeLuca. Coming in to score is Ellis.
Welcome
DeLuca
back to Royal
goes
Athletic
for
Park, the Victoria HarbourCats on the Go Live broadcast, trailing 1-0 after the top of the third inning. Yakima punching one across in the top of the third to take a 1-0 lead. It's the third straight game in this series that the Pippins have drawn first blood.
And we'll see if the HarbourCats have an answer here, led off by their left fielder, Riley Zajac.
Who takes a called strike for strike one. 247 out of UNC Wilmington, Riley Zajac. Zajac tonight playing left field. Called strike 2, so 0-2 on Zajac.
Zajac was a pinch hitter in last night's game. He drew a walk and was struck out in 2 plate appearances.
Outside for ball 2. Or I should say ball 1. Pardon me. Full light tonight, sunshine, just the lamp standards shadowing across the field, and the winds are very light. And Zajac strikes out. That's on called strikes, and he is not happy about that, but it looked like a solid 86-mile-an-hour fastball for the first out.
Strikeout number 2 for the right-hander Taylor Dullard for Yakima. He's into his 3rd inning of work, holding the HarbourCats scoreless so far on 2 hits and a walk.
Shane McGuire, the catcher, up now for the HarbourCats. High for ball 1.
This is an impressive 9-hole hitter for the HarbourCats tonight. Left-handed catcher who is batting .524 with 6 RBIs in 9 games.
And there's a solid hit to, looks like right center, and it's put out. So Shane McGuire flies out for the second out, and that brings back the top of the order, Harry Shipley, the shortstop.
Shipley struck out in his first at-bat after notching 2 hits, 2 walks, and 3 RBIs a night ago. A big series for Harry Shipley, 4 hits and 4 walks.
Harry very patient at the plate as he sees a high inside for ball 1. He has a good eyeball on that ball coming in and is able to hold off on what looked like might be tantalizing pitches. That one's a little closer to the batter, the strike zone, and that's a called strike 1. It was high, but it was inside that strike zone. Low for ball 2. Shipley
1-2. Harry Shipley with Noah Pruitt on deck.
And 2 out. Outside for ball 3, so 3-1 the count.
The HarbourCats did well with 2 strikes, or I should say 2 outs last night.
Three-one pitch, and he hits it right to second, and he grounds out to first. So that's the end of the 3rd inning, and after 3 complete innings, it's the Yakima Valley Pippins 1, the Victoria HarbourCats nothing. More highlights from Game 2 in this series on the Go Live broadcast back in a moment.
Swung on, hit high and deep to right field. That ball is back and that ball is gone. Lucas Denny goes large right. A 2-run shot. Yakima has 4 in this top of the 4th, and they extend their lead out. It's now 8-5. Cachola exits 1 for 1 with a walk. That ball is lined to left for a base hit. 1 will score. Held is the trail runner. RBI single Van Saw, and the HarbourCats have cut it to 8-7. Another 3-2 to Johnson.
Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park. You're watching the Go Live broadcast featuring the Victoria HarbourCats hosting the Yakima Valley Pippins. 1-0 Yakima Valley after 3 full innings. And now taking over the play-by-play innings 3, 4, and 5, Jonathan Hodson.
Thanks, Steve. As we go to the top of the 4th inning, it's 1-0 Yakima. As Jack Owen returns to the mound, he has been good, allowing a run on 3 hits with 5 strikeouts. 4, 5, and 6 will hit for Yakima.
One of those strikeouts at the plate now. Lucas Denny, the designated hitter, he struck out in the 2nd.
This is an important bat to keep off the board. Did some serious damage last night. It's 0-2 quickly, and that's what we've seen for much of the night from Owen. The only inning he struggled in a little bit was the third inning. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. That is strikeout number 6.
And Denny's second of the night. So it looks like Owen's on top of his game. He's got his pitches working, bringing up the center fielder, Tora Otsuka, who did some damage earlier.
Otsuka singled in the second, but was stranded at second base as Yakima put a pair of runners on in that inning. Shows bunt, but takes ball 1. Lefty-lefty matchup here with Owen and Otsuka.
As I mentioned, this is the rubber match of this series. These two teams split the first 2 games, both of them in slugfests.
Called strike 1-1. We see 2 future teammates in the home plate area right now. Both are freshman commits of San Diego, that being Shane McGuire and Tora Otsuka, as that 1-1 pitch runs inside and hits Otsuka. So the first hit batter of the night is aboard.
Otsuka taking one off, I guess, the side of the back, and that's a tough way, I've mentioned this before, to get a base, but he gets it nonetheless. So bringing up the third baseman, Mitch Ellis, who in the second inning got aboard on a base hit.
Ellis stands in the third baseman. Later in the ball game, we will have an interview with Mitch Ellis. They take an extra moment or so to turn the music off. That's why the home plate umpire was looking backwards. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It falls at the feet of Shane McGuire. We play in the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Yakima leads. Rubber match of this 3-game series. Throw to first base. We've already seen Jack Owen pick off a runner tonight.
And he's got 6 strikeouts so far. So Owen doing his thing on the mound very well.
Has not walked a batter so far. Bunt put down first base. He kicks it, and he is out as he contacted the baseball outside of the batter's box. So Ellis is out. The baseball, after he put the bunt down, kicked off his heel as he was running down the baseline, and because of that, the runner at first base, Tora Otsuka, is told to head on back to first base. That might be a break for the HarbourCats. Runner still at first, 2 outs for Tyler Bassetti.
Bassetti struck out in the second inning, one of Owen's 6 strikeouts. Owen with the move to first, keeping Otsuka honest. But now 2 out very quickly, and that shows well for Owen the way he's been pitching so far tonight. HarbourCats trailing 1-0.
Runner bluffs at first. The pitch is low for ball 1. Coming into the game, Jack Owen had the best ERA of any starter in the West Coast League. He gave up 1 run in his last start, and his ERA went up, missing outside for 2-0.
Yeah, when you have your ERA go up, when that happens, you know that you're doing pretty well going in. So 2 out. We're in the top of the 4th.
Swing
Big
and a miss.
Swing.
2 balls and 1 strike on Bassetti.
Said he struck out in the second inning, and Owen would love to do the same in the 4th.
Missing for ball 3. Bassetti in last night's game collected 1 hit and scored a run. Also walked and struck out once. He started at second base in all 3 games. 2-1 is fouled back, 3-1 is fouled back. It's now a full count at 3-2 with 2 outs. We play in the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Yakima Valley, trying to win the series tonight against the HarbourCats. Runner will be off. There he goes. The ground ball to third base. Gloved at third by Weiss. Thrown across. That will do it for the top of the 4th inning. So we'll take a break. Go to the bottom of the 4th here on Go Live Broadcast. The Yakima Valley Pippins lead 1-0.
Steve Wallace, who sponsors the Radar Ride. Steve Wallace Driving School. Steve, you're sponsoring something on Saturday night that I know you're telling everybody about. Fireworks on Saturday night. I want everyone to come out. We got the best fireworks guy in all of British Columbia. We've started the last 2 or 3 years. We're going to walk around town after the fireworks night for 6 months. People congratulate me and say, hey, this is the best fireworks night we've had. Jamie Swanson and HarbourCats are responsible for it. And I congratulate them. Bring your friends out to the game. This is the best entertainment in town. We are on some big old fireworks right? Our sponsors for fireworks is Western Transportation and Wallace Driving School. That's been our Roxy's Minute. Roxy's out of Vancouver Gates. I'm going to get you a picture of it, Steve, so you can take your wife out for dinner for once, because I know she has always wanted to please when you guys don't go for dinner.
Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park in Victoria. 1-0 for Yakima as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The HarbourCats still trying to solve. Right-hander Taylor Dullard, who is through 3 scoreless innings on 2 hits. The HarbourCats will send 2-3-4 to the plate in the 4th inning, led off by Noah Pruitt. Jonathan Hudson and Steve Duffy on the call with you tonight here on Go Live Broadcast.
Another beautiful night at the big ballpark as Pruitt would love to get on. Takes a strike.
Pruitt, the second baseman, is 0 for 1. Last year, the HarbourCats were 23-4 at home. So we see the 1-1 pitch fouled over the right side. This year at 11-9. And the summer collegiate season moves very quickly. After tonight's game, the HarbourCats will only have 6 home games remaining on the schedule.
Pruitt fouling that one off, drawing the wows of some of the fans that landed in Food Truck Row there, or just in the stands.
1-2. Ground ball softly, charging at third base, throw on the run. Nice job by third baseman Mitch Ellis to get Noah Pruitt, put a star on that play. Pruitt now 0 for 2.
Grounded out in the first, grounded out in the 4th, and that brings up Hunter Vansaw to the plate.
Vansaw walked in the 1st inning. He's been the igniter ever since he showed up. Himself and first baseman Harrison Bragg both came late as they enjoyed a long playoff run with Mississippi State. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. Swung on, fouled over the left side. Hunter with 7 walks against 8 strikeouts now after that first inning base on balls.
Quite a platoon series going on with first base. Tonight, Tucker Johnson's playing first. Harrison Bragg often plays first. Po Hao Huang, also the first baseman. So you got no shortage of talent at first base for the HarbourCats.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. Head coach Brian McCrae is blessed with a lot of options all over the diamond. It's like that at first base. There's a couple of solid options at third. And the outfield has been absolutely silly this year, especially defensively. Yep. Missing upstairs, 2-2.
Guys like Jake Gorella and all those people out in the field. Gorella's not in the starting lineup tonight, but Zajac in left, Andrew Shaps in second, and Hunter Vansaw in right. Solid fielders.
2-2. Fouled back. Defensively, it seems every night the HarbourCats make a star defensive play in the outfield. None better than early in June, the recently departed, and by that we mean departed the team, Ethan Lopez robbed a home run in left center field. The HarbourCats began the year with 3 players from the University of Hawaii. All 3 have gone home. Similar with Baylor players as well. 3 started, still just 1 here. 2-2 to Vansaw. Swung on, goes the other way. Fairly deep at the track at the wall. Reaching up and making the play is left fielder Brad Beasley. And how about that from the left fielder for Yakima?
Beasley making the catch right against the fence as Vansaw went deep, but not quite deep enough. And that's the second out of the inning for the HarbourCats. And once again, Dollard, the pitcher, lefty for the Pippins, getting out of a jam a bit with Vansaw hitting it deep, but not deep enough.
Beasley must have heard us talking about the Victoria outfield.
It brings up Andrew Shaps.
Shaps is 1 for 1 tonight. Popped up left side, foul territory. That'll go out of play to the top of the third base premium seating.
Somebody tried to catch that with the hat. I think if he had that, would have been a hole in the hat. It came down at a pretty good velocity, but it's funny how, baseballs in the store, $5.95 or $8.95, whatever, but everybody goes bonkers for one at the ballpark.
Part of the timeless ballpark experience, no different here. 0-1 on Andrew Shaps, 2 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Swung on, hit high and deep to right field. That ball's to the track, to the wall, leaping, and the play is not made as that settles at the wall. Going for 3 is Shaps. He will be stopped at third.
Andrew Shaps gets a triple.
Shaps puts a charge into a baseball again. He is now 8 for 10 in the series. He had a home run to a similar spot last night, and he triples as the right fielder Johnny DeLuca dove at the wall in right center field, could not come up with it. So the HarbourCats have a runner at third, 2 out for Tucker Johnson.
Tucker flew out in the second, so he'd like to make amends for that. Of course, the tying run 90 feet from home plate. Trying to get their first run across.
Johnson swings at the first pitch, blooper to right field, coming on, sliding, and cannot make the play. And now chasing him back into first base, he's in safely. So that should go as an RBI single off the bat of Johnson, as DeLuca, for the second straight hitter, is just unable to make a play. This one coming in, it looked like it actually bounced out of his glove. An RBI single for Tucker Johnson, and the HarbourCats manufacture a 2-out run to tie it at 1.
Looked like he had the ball in his glove, but when he made contact with the ground, it popped out and allowed Shaps to score from third. Tucker Johnson at first base, and Kevin Collard at the plate.
Kevin Collard singled in the second. First pitch is strike 1. So we're now tied at 1 in the bottom of the 4th.
Far cry from the previous 2 games where it was run fest each and every night.
These 2 teams combining for 18 runs on night number 1 and 23 runs a night ago as Collard fouls it away. 0-2 with 2 outs. So right-hander Taylor Dollard is 1 good pitch away from getting through his 4th inning. But the HarbourCats have leveled this game at 1 on the strength of a Shaps triple and a Johnson single.
Johnson at first.
0-2. Reaches out and spoils it down the left field line.
Foul to the left, and that keeps the count at 0-2.
Collard coming in with 2 home runs and 13 RBIs in 26 games. 2 years ago for the HarbourCats, Collard hit 7 home runs and drove in 35.
Not bad numbers for a short season.
2 strike pitches, high snap, throw to first base, goes down the right field line. So Johnson is around second, will stand up and go for third. The throw is late, blocked at third base by Ellis. So the throwing error will be charged to the catcher Tyler Sandoval, and the HarbourCats have another runner at third.
So astute base running by Tucker Johnson as the catcher tried to get him when he was leading off, and the throw to first went past the first baseman. And the first baseman in this case couldn't handle it. That's Dylan Plew, and allowing Shaps to get, or Tucker Johnson, I should say, to get all the way to third. Standing up.
1-2 on Kevin Collard. The pitch is tapped back to the mound. Look what I found into the glove of Dullard. He flips to first. That'll do it for the HarbourCats, but they get a run on the triple by Shaps and the RBI single for Johnson. We go to the 5th inning here on Go Live Broadcast, all tied at 1. We go to the top of the 5th inning, tied at 1 between the HarbourCats and the Yakima Valley Pippins as they play the rubber match of this 3-game series. Jonathan Hudson and Steve Duffy with you. Jack Owen returns to the mound for the HarbourCats. He has been very good. Swing and miss from Tyler Sandoval.
Sandoval struck out in the 2nd inning. It's the second at bat as they're at the bottom of the order for the 2nd time tonight.
Sandoval, one of 6 strikeouts for Jack Owen through 4 innings of work, 1-1. 8-9-1, Sandoval, Playa, and Plew here in the inning. Strike 2. Owen has been working ahead all night. Swung on off the foot of Owen. He directs it to first base and will flip just in time. It may have just worked out that way, but how composed Owen was on that play. Steve, it almost looked like he intentionally directed that baseball to first base.
Yep, it looked like it was almost like a soccer kick to direct it so he could slow it down, catch it, make the toss to first for the out. Interesting play. But you see it all in baseball, so that brings back the top of the order, Dylan Plew.
1 out for Nick Playa.
I'm sorry, Nick Playa.
Plew is next as the 9-hitter Nick Playa stands in. All good, it happens.
Yep.
1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. 1-0 pitch on Playa. Ball 2. Playa registered an infield single in the 3rd inning as Yakima in that frame collected 2 straight hits without getting a ball out of the infield.
That was when Playa stole second, and then he was forced out on a rundown, so he's had a bit of an adventure on the base pass tonight.
Bouncing in 3-1 on Playa. I'm going to say it with a 3-ball count. Owen has not walked a batter tonight. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Yep. 81 mile an hour. That was like a slider in there for this big swing and a miss.
Owen in his 5th start of the year.
And
misses low and away, ball 4. So I'll take the responsibility for that walk. 1 out walk will bring the top of the order in. And Dylan Plew. Plew had an infield single and scored in the 3rd inning, giving Yakima a momentary 1-0 lead. It's now tied at 1 as we play in the 5th.
Dylan Plew, the first baseman up. He flew out in the 1st.
Lefty-lefty matchup here. Swings at the first pitch, hits it high and not that deep to left center field. Sliding over, Shaps makes the play for out number 2.
Flew out in the first inning. He got a single in the third and flew out again just now, bringing the second. That's the second out for the Pippins. And at the plate now is Johnny DeLuca, the right fielder, who struck out in the first and got a single in the third.
DeLuca batting with 2 down. The wind is blowing out to left a little bit stronger than it was at game time, so that potentially gave a little bit more length to that blue fly ball. First pitch swung on, hit high and deep to right. Back at the track, at the wall. That ball is down off the wall. Coming around to score is Nick Playa going for 3. DeLuca will get in without a play. RBI triple for Johnny DeLuca as he goes the other way and bangs the triple off the wall past Hunter Vansaw, and Yakima regains the 2-1 lead.
That ball was giving our right fielder, the Victoria right fielder, all kinds of fits. Of course, that is Hunter Vansaw looking into that sun, and right field and first base and second base and I guess center field, always looking into the setting sun for evening games here at Royal Athletic Park, and that's obviously gave Vansaw all kinds of trouble losing it in the sun.
With a runner at third base now and 2 outs, the hitter is Brad Beasley. 0-1 pitch is slashed foul.
0-2 the count now.
This is only the second time this season that Jack Owen has given up 2 runs in an appearance. Both of the runs tonight are earned. Bouncing in, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Runner at third base with 2 out.
Both teams with 4 hits now. Both teams with the triple.
And both teams committing an error. Mind you, it's not the error fest we saw in the first 2 games. I think they were like 7 and 8 in the first 2.
Teams cleaning it up nicely for the most part tonight. That ball popped up right side, giving chase, but that'll go into about row 5 down the right field line. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Beasley, the left fielder. Jack Owen trying to shut down the top of the 5th inning. Yakima has regained the lead. They're now on top 2-1. 1-2 is grounded to short. Harry Shipley scoop, step, and throw. That'll do it. Yakima regains a 2-1 lead in the top of the 5th inning. We are halfway home here on Go Live Broadcast.
Okay. Yeah, give it a couple of lanes and you can't get it. No problem. Yeah.
Bottom of the 5th inning here on Go Live Broadcast. It's 2-1 Yakima as Cole Weiss leads off for the HarbourCats. Jonathan Hudson and Steve Duffy with you.
So far the Pippins have put a run across in the top of the 3rd and top of the 5th.
put in play on the first pitch of the inning. 3-1 ground ball off the bat of Cole Weiss. That was first baseman Plew feeding the pitcher Taylor Dullard for out number 1.
That brings the left fielder Riley Zajac to the plate. 247 he's batting this season out of UNC Wilmington.
He's 0 for 1 tonight with his strikeout. Just 2 strikeouts for Taylor Dullard tonight, but he's been very effective. Swing and a miss, 0-1. A little bit different styles between Taylor Dullard and Jack Owen, but so far to this point, Taylor Dullard leading 2-1. Swung on, popped out left side into left field. Hangs up for out number 2 in the glove of Brad Beasley.
So Zajac has struck out. He just flew out to left, and that brings up the catcher, Shane McGuire.
McGuire is for 1 with the fly ball tonight. Last inning, the HarbourCats put up their first run of the game. Couple of 2-out hits, a triple and a single. 1-0 now to McGuire.
The product of the University of San Diego, batting .524, hefty offensive numbers.
Swung on, popped up, back of shortstop into shallow left field. The play is made by Nick Playa. The HarbourCats go very quickly in the bottom of the 5th inning. To the 6th we go. Yakima still leads 2-1 here on Go Live Broadcast.
Calibrated the slow one yet.
This is riveting action. Really gotta get that one fixed. Please go in, remember. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Leading off for the Pippins, the designated hitter number 7, Lucas Benny.
No?
Family and parents throughout the course of the summer. Honored to have you along. Strike 1 from Jack Owen, who works into his 6th inning. He's allowed 2 runs on 4 hits tonight.
Owen has been solid on the hill, showing no signs of slowing down. A called strike 2 on that one. He's got the curveball working very nicely.
He's had both pitches over for strikes tonight.
That was probably more of a slider that just caught the outside of the strike zone.
Lucas Denny is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He fouls that pitch away. Stays 0-2. The middle third of the order will bat for Yakima. Here in the top of the 6th, Lucas Denny, Tora Otska, and Mitch Ellis. Ground ball slowly up the middle, second baseman throwing going away from first base, not dug out by Tucker Johnson. That was Noah Pruitt on the play at second base. The throw is low and Johnson couldn't dig it out. It was a slow roller, so we'll see what they call the play. Nonetheless, Denny's at first base with nobody out.
Tough ball to the second baseman. for the HarbourCats, who tonight playing second is Noah Pruitt, and he just tried to charge it and then couldn't get the throw there in time accurately.
Bunt shown, stepped at it for strike one, Tora Otska, and that is now ruled an error.
E2.
They gave the wrong number on the error, I believe.
That should be E4, shouldn't it?
Either 4 or 3, depending on what their judgment was. Missing as Otska showed bunt again.
1-2 is the count now. 1-1 actually.
Otska singled in the second.
And he got hit in the fourth.
Bunted foul. The ball on 2 strikes.
In the fourth inning, Oates took one to the side, I guess the back side, if you want, the side or the ribs, back portion of the ribs, to get on base. Tough way to get a base. He's going to have a bruise there tomorrow.
Otska's had a good series. A little bit surprising to see them trying to bunt him here in the top of the 6th inning. But he will likely have to do it himself here with the ball and 2 strikes.
None out, man on first.
Throw to first. For the first time tonight, there is action in the bullpen for the HarbourCats.
Owen working on a 1-2 count.
Throw over to first base. Again to check on Lucas Denny, who is on base thanks to an error that led off the inning. The ball on 2 strikes on Tora Otska. Top of the 6th inning, 2-1 Yakima. Ground ball foul towards the first base dugout.
With the short season, every win is huge, as these teams are battling to make the postseason. And the HarbourCats finished the first half of the season in second in the North Division, and they topped the North Division so far in the second half. But they want to keep that thing going. Pretty much got to win each division if you're going to get the playoffs.
By rule, you do have to win each one of the halves to make it. Each division winner in each half gets in. Ground ball through the right side for a base hit for Otska. Stopping at second is the lead runner, Lucas Denny.
That brings up third baseman Mitch Ellis.
So a little spot of trouble for Jack Owen here in the top of the 6th. First and second, nobody out for Mitch Ellis. That's now 5 hits for Yakima as they try to extend their lead.
Be nice to say, wow, you don't see a triple play very often. That's what HarbourCats are at least hoping to get one or two of the runners out to get this inning in the books.
First pitch, bunt shown, put down third base. That'll go foul. Only ever called 1 triple play in my career. And that's actually the only one I've ever seen in person. That came about 3 years ago now. It was a line drive with first and second, nobody out. It was a line drive straight to the third baseman.
Mitch Ellis got a single in the second, and then he was out by rule of contacting with the ball outside the batter's box in the 4th inning.
0-1 bunt put down foul to the first base side. So Yakima not doing a great job getting bunts down.
Ellis has bunted foul to each side of the plate now.
Otska couldn't put it down, but he ended up with the single anyway, so that's a little bit better for Otska. And now Mitch Ellis will have to battle with 2 strikes. He stays with the bunt and bunts foul with 2 strikes, so he will strike out. Head coach Marcus McKinney can't be thrilled. 5 bunt attempts in this inning, 0 for 5, and Ellis strikes out on bunts.
So that's ruled a 7 strikeout for Owen now on the night. 7 Ks, looking pretty good.
Tyler Bassetti will hit with first and second, 1 out. Picking up the leg and shutting it down. We'll redo. Bassetti is 0 for 2. Up and away.
Crowd giving it to Bassetti.
Jack Owen has pitched 7 innings in each of his last 2 starts. As you mentioned, they're picking on Tyler Bassetti down there in the grandstand. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
And they can keep the same chant going if, because the next batter is another Tyler, Sandoval, the catcher. So you have Tyler Bassetti now, and Tyler Sandoval due up next.
Good life from this crowd. Solid Thursday night crowd in here. Breaking pitch, strike called, 1-2.
He curved that in again. Caught just nibbled the outside of the strike zone high for strike 2.
One, two. Ground ball to short. Shipley to Pruitt. On to first, not in time. Too softly hit by Bassetti to turn 2, so there'll be 2 outs with a runner at third base.
That brings up the other Tyler, Sandoval, the catcher. Sandoval so far has struck out in the 2nd. He grounded out in the 5th.
Lucas Denny moves to third base on the ground ball. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Tyler Sandoval 0 for 2. First pitch, strike 1 on another curveball from Jack Owen.
Owen's got the curveball, breaking ball working for him tonight, catching the corners of the strike zone outside and in.
0-1 outside. After a very quick first inning, 1-2-3, Jack Owen has had to work a little bit harder tonight. Pitch count not quite where he would like it, 2-1. So not sure if we're going to see another 7-inning start from Owen. Swung on, Bluebird to center field. That ball will get down, a base hit. Coming in to score from third is Denny on the RBI single for Sandoval.
So that makes the count 3-1 for Yakima Valley now. They've put a run across as Sandoval gets a single and an RBI. Well, it's an RBI single for Sandoval, making the score 3-1 Yakima Valley.
That run is unearned as Lucas Denny scores after reaching base on an error.
Nick Playa, the shortstop, at the plate now.
Playa has been on base twice, an infield single and a walk. Good job there by Shane McGuire to glove that baseball. Missing low, 2-0. Jack Owen's pitch count approaching 100 here in the 6th inning. So as the HarbourCats are turning him over to Auburn at the end of the season, wouldn't imagine we'll see any more action from Owen after this 6th inning. 2-1 is the count.
I'd like to go out in a blaze of glory, of course. He has to deal with Nick Playa first of all, the 3rd out of the inning.
Long pause and the 2-1 low, 3 balls and a strike. If Playa were to reach, it would bring in the top of the order. Now, head coach Brian McRae telling the bullpen to hurry up. inning. Going back to second, close play, safe. Second baseman Noah Pruitt feeling that they may have had a chance to get the lead runner at second, but
Runner
just
got
getting back
under the
in.
tag.
Indigo Diaz is in the bullpen for the HarbourCats.
One of 4 Victoria pitchers going to the All-Star game, and walking is Nick Playa.
Low on the 3-1 pitch. That will load the bases with 2 outs. So Yakima has a chance to break this game open. They already have a run in the top of the 6th to lead 3-1, and that the bases loaded with 2 outs.
So the right-hander, Indigo Diaz, warming up in the bullpen. Looks like they're slowing things down for Jack Owen to give Diaz a chance to warm up. Owen's still on the mound, though, trying to get the 3rd out of the inning.
Lefty-lefty matchup with Dylan Plew. First pitch fouled back. Plew, the first baseman, is 1 for 3.
Flew out twice and got a base hit in the 3rd.
Owen trying to find a way to get out of this 6th and keep the HarbourCats in the baseball game. Fouled back, 0-2.
Bases are loaded.
Owen has only walked 2 batters tonight, and both of them have been Nick Playa. Big pitch here, bases loaded, 0-2, 2 outs. Bouncing in and on the right side of McGuire, enough time to come in to score for Tyler Bassetti. Tough break for the HarbourCats. Pitch bounced right before McGuire and kicked straight up in the air, allowing time for the runner to score.
That makes the count 4-1 Yakima now, and we're still trying to get out of the 6th inning with 2 out.
Second and third now, 2 outs. The count is 1-2.
First multi-run inning of the night.
Ground ball softly to second base. Pruitt will go to first to end the inning. 2 unearned runs for Yakima push their lead to 4-1, and will now in the middle of the 6th go to an interview that we had with Yakima third baseman Mitch Ellis. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Yakima.
All right, this is Ali for Go Live Broadcast. I'm here with Mitch Ellis from the Yakima Valley Pippins. Mitch, is your first time in Victoria?
First time in Victoria, yeah.
But I hear not the first time in Canada. You've been to Lake Louise and some other beautiful places.
Yeah, lucky enough to get to Alberta and Jasper and Lake Louise.
Right on. So where do you play out of? You're playing out of Yakima right now, but what college are you in?
I go to Western Illinois.
Western Illinois?
Mm-hmm.
And where are you from originally?
I'm from Diamond Creek, Australia.
Australia. A lot of Australians in BC. We're glad to have you here.
Hey, no worries. Good to be back in the Commonwealth.
Right on. Well, good luck for tonight's game. It's been a high-scoring series. What do you think you guys need to do to win tonight?
Probably just pitch and play good defense, and then the bats will come for sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mitch. We wish you a good game, and hope people tune in to Go Live Broadcast. See you play.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much. No worries.
Bottom of the 6th inning, the HarbourCats now trail 4-1 as Yakima has posted 3 runs in the last 2 innings to take the lead. Harry Shipley leads off the bottom of the 6th for the HarbourCats. Jonathan Hudson and Steve Duffy with you. First pitch, ball 1 to Shipley.
Shipley's 3rd visit at the plate tonight. He struck out in the 1st inning, grounded out in the 3rd.
Still right-hander Taylor Dullard for Yakima, missing outside 2-0. Through 5 innings against Taylor Dullard, the HarbourCats have 1 run on 4 hits. Ball 3.
Shipley very patient at the plate. He's usually a long out or a threat to get on.
Pitch is taken for strike 1. And Steve, the last thing Yakima wants to see after building a lead with the multi-run inning is their pitcher struggling to throw strikes.
Yeah.
That one roped down the right field line, but foul into the bullpen. Dollard comes back to fill the count at 3-2. Top of the order, Shipley, Pruitt, and Vansaw here in the bottom of the 6th.
Game trundling along compared to the first 2 games in this series, which were, as we mentioned, slugfests.
3-2. High, ball 4.
So Harry Shipley gets on with a walk. And that brings up Noah Pruitt, the second baseman.
That walk is walk number 2 issued by Dollard tonight. Runner at first base, nobody out for Noah Pruitt.
And the Yakima bullpen is still silent.
Pruitt is 0 for 2, and we've seen that all week from Yakima. They typically give their starter a lot of leash before they go to the pen.
Pruitt's third appearance at the plate tonight. He's grounded out in his previous 2 in the 1st and 4th innings.
First pitch is popped up middle of the field. Could be trouble, but no, it carries him to center where Otska will make the play for the first out.
So that keeps Harriet Shipley at first base with 1 out. And coming up to the plate, Hunter Vansaw walked in the 1st and flew out in the 4th.
That's a big first out for Taylor Dollard, as the HarbourCats at this point need to string something together. Forget about stringing it together. The HarbourCats have a man at the plate that can put up a number in a hurry. Hunter Vansaw with his 4 home runs.
HarbourCats trailing 4-1 in the bottom of the 6th.
First pitch swung on, hit high to right field. A lot of air under it at the track, at the wall. That ball is gone. Hunter Vansaw didn't get all of it, but got enough to get it out to right.
2-run shot for Hunter Vansaw. He brings in Harry Shipley, and that makes it a 1-run ball game as the HarbourCats now trail by a count of 4-3 with their first multi-run inning of the game, thanks to Hunter Vansaw. A 2-run shot over the right field fence.
That's a great response for the HarbourCats. 2 runs posted by Yakima in the top of the inning, and the HarbourCats come back with 2 so far. And here's another power bat in Andrew Shaps.
Got a single in the 2nd and a triple in the 4th, and scored a run on that triple. So Shaps is a definite threat on the offense, and we've got the HarbourCats just 1 out.
5th home run of the year for Hunter Vansaw, team leader in that category. That ball lined up the middle for a base hit. My, oh my. Andrew Shaps, 9 for 11 in the series.
That's his 2nd single tonight. He's also got a triple. Maybe he's going to go for the cycle. I always wonder if that's going to happen.
At this point, I would not bet against it.
Looks like the Pippins are contemplating changing pitchers after Dollard has pitched a gem up until this point.
Looks like Bo Kearns, the pitching coach, on the mound now for Yakima, as they have just now started to activate the bullpen.
Entire infield on the mound. It reminds you of that scene from Bull Durham. Discussing wedding presents.
A lot of stuff going on out there.
Strategy.
I believe we referenced that one last time you were in here, so I don't know if we go down that road again.
I know, but it's one of my favorite baseball movies. You know, they've got to hand it to Hollywood. They make good baseball films. Kevin Costner in 3 good baseball movies. Robert Redford in The Natural, of course, and of course, they're fun to watch. Some of them serious, some of them funny. Major League is another one with Charlie Sheen playing Wild Thing.
Well, Yakima is in a serious situation here, now leading just 4-3. Runner at first base, 1 out. for Tucker Johnson, who pops up on the first pitch on the backstop left side, and that will get down.
Just out.
As the catcher Tyler Sandoval ran into the hardwood backstop with pretty good force, and that jarred him, but he looks like he's smiling, so he's okay.
I think he thought it might have been padded a little. He's bending over, shaking it off.
Well, now he knows it's not.
Yeah. I think he hit it with his knees, so of course the catcher with the leg guards took the I guess the force of the hit. But he's still shaking that left leg a little bit.
Tucker Johnson 1 for 2 with the fly ball to center field in the second and a single in the fourth inning. But that fly ball in the second was a good swing as Tucker's put together a few good at-bats the last two days. Runner goes, pitch inside, throw down, good throw, the tag is right there. Have a day, Tyler Sandoval, 3 for 3, throwing out runners with 3 absolute perfect throws.
That was the potential tying run that was just thrown out at second. A good gun by Sandoval from home plate to get him out at second.
So the bases are now clear with 2 outs, and the count is 1-1 on Tucker Johnson.
What's tough for the HarbourCats is the steal efforts. They're not even close tonight. They're out by a couple of feet, so they managed to steal some, but tonight they've been caught.
1-1. Strike 2 called.
That thing had some movement on it. Just caught the outside of the strike zone as Tucker Johnson watched it go by.
A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Taylor Dullard delivers. Check swing and a ball outside. Did he go? No, sir, as they check down to first base.
Bit close. Didn't break the wrists, as they say, and the first base umpire calling him fair. Or safe. Or no strike, I should say. So 2's across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Deuce's pitch. Fouled straight down off of himself. Tucker Johnson will have to take a moment as that took a bite out of him.
He wears the ankle guard on the left, inside the left shin, but I think the ball hit just above it on the inside of the thigh, so he's trying to shake that off.
We play in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hunter Van Saw's 5th home run of the year, a 2-run shot, has made it 4-3 Yakima. Van Saw now with 21 RBIs in 17 games. 2-2. Strike 3 called. That'll do it for the HarbourCats in the 6th inning, but they get 2 back on the Van Saw home run. We go to the 7th here on Go Live Broadcast, and Steve Duffy will have the lead again when we go to the 7th, 4-3 Yakima.
Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park for the Go Live broadcast featuring the Victoria HarbourCats home to the Yakima Valley Pippins. We're about to start the top of the 7th inning. 4-3 Yakima leads, and a Victoria pitching change. Jonathan Hodgson has the details.
Jack Owen's day is done. 6 innings, gives up 4 runs, 2 of them earned on 6 hits with 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. He gives way to Indigo Diaz, the all-star right-hander, soon-to-be sophomore at Iowa Western. The numbers on Indigo Diaz, the native of North Vancouver. 14 appearances, 18 innings, 18 hits, 25 strikeouts to 11 walks. He is 1-0 with a 4.9 ERA.
Johnny DeLuca at the plate for the Pippins, the right fielder. He's a 0-2 count on him as Diaz is getting down to work early and quickly. Misses with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, just a little outside. And he's throwing some heat, Diaz is.
Diaz typically in the low 90s.
Curveball 76 miles an hour, misses.
2, 3, and 4 will hit for Yakima. DeLuca, Beasley, and Denny.
Foul back by DeLuca. Count stays at 2-2.
The first 3 innings went very quickly. 1-0 Yakima. A lot more action in the middle frames.
Outside for ball 3.
Good at bat here by DeLuca. He fell behind 0-2, but it's worked a 3-2 count.
Each team scoring 2 runs in the 6th. That makes the score 4-3 Yakima. The 6th inning, the first multi-run inning for both teams tonight, as 0s and 1s predominated before that.
First 2 games of this series saw a lot of crooked numbers for both teams. Tonight has had a lot more order to it. Long at bat here, Diaz and DeLuca. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a breaking pitch. Diaz wins the battle for out number 1.
So DeLuca strikes out, and that brings up Brad Beasley, who struck out in the first. He got a single in the 3rd and grounded out in the 5th.
One out.
Shadows up. Sorry, John.
1 out for Beasley. Diaz is one of 5 All-Stars for the HarbourCats as he deals strike 1.
As you can see, the shadows stretching across the field at Royal Athletic, but it's still blinding for the center and right fielders as well as second base and first base, staring straight into the setting sun.
Missing inside and hitting Beasley. That'll put a runner aboard with 1 out. 2 Yakima Valley Pippins have been hit tonight, 1 by Owen and 1 by Diaz.
DH Lucas Denny at the plate now for Yakima, as Indigo Diaz trying to find that zone after having hit Brad Beasley.
Diaz was very good to DeLuca, had to battle him, but won the at-bat on the 8th pitch with a strikeout on the 3-2. Big swing and a miss, 90 on the gun again from Diaz.
Diaz, one of 4 HarbourCats pitchers going to the All-Star game. The other member of the HarbourCats going to the All-Star game is Hunter Vansall, the right fielder. Of course, the All-Star game in Yakima next week.
Yakima seeing 2 of the HarbourCats' best here tonight in Jack Owen and Indigo Diaz. Both will go to the All-Star game. Runner goes on 0-1, swing and a miss, throw down, great throw, the tag is there. Both catchers having a heck of a night behind the dish. Sandoval and McGuire both throwing out a number of runners tonight. Anything you can do, I can do better, I guess is what they're going with.
And it wasn't even close. That brings up
Diaz,
Lucas Denny still.
or sorry, Beasley is gunned down.
Yeah.
And Diaz has 0-2 on Denny, trying to shut down the inning now. Fouled back.
Of course, Diaz would love to get out of this inning quickly and put a donut up on the board for Yakima in this inning. The Pippins have scored 3 runs in the last 2 innings after blanking the first, second, and fourth.
Another 0-2 on Denny. Fouled away. Denny reached on an error on the second baseman Pruitt in the 6th inning. Came around to score an unearned run, part of a 2-run frame.
Count is 0-2 still after fouling that one off. In the ground, that's low. But good job by Shane McGuire to keep that one in front of him from going past him. But there's nobody on the bases. They're just trying to get the batter out of the plate, Lucas Denny. 2 out. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Yakima leading 4-3. Oh, the crowd thought that was it. The umpire thought not. That evens the count at 2-2.
1,500 umpires thought it was a strike. The one wearing blue didn't.
Yeah. And that gets out of the infielder, so Denny gets on with a single, a base hit. When many in the crowd thought the previous pitch should have been the 3rd strike. But baseball's played on acres and it's a game of inches. And I always thought it was funny. You hit a round bat, hitting a round ball, but you got to hit it square.
The important things. Tora Otsuka steps in. He's 2 for 2 with a hit by pitch.
Foul ball, strike 1. And of course Danny's at first, so we got a runner at first. Otsuka at the plate with 2 out. Top of the 7th, 4-3 Yakima leading the HarbourCats. And the rubber match of the series, which up until now has been a hit and score fest, hit and run fest. But tonight it's a little more calm, 4-3 after 6 complete. Pitch is high, up and away for ball 1, so that evens the count at 1-1.
The HarbourCats have had an arm throwing in the bullpen for much of this inning, but Indigo Diaz has 2 outs trying to get through it himself.
Last 2 pitches, 90 miles an hour. And that was a big swing by Otsuka for strike 2. So Diaz would love to end this inning on this next pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. His last 2 have been 90 miles an hour, so he's throwing the heat. That's a little outside for ball 2.
2's all around.
Yeah. 2 at the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Buy a lottery ticket. There's the pitch, comebacker, right through Diaz's legs, and Otsuka has got 3 hits on the night. And the time he didn't get the hit, he got hit. So he's been on 4 times this evening.
And Otsuka 7 for 11 overall in this series. And gee, it seems like the pitchers in this game particularly have a target on them, as that ball just missed getting a piece of Indigo Diaz.
So Mitch Ellis at the plate now. He got a base hit in the 2nd. He was out by illegal contact with the ball in the 4th, and he struck out in the 6th.
There appears to be a left-hander ready and waiting in the bullpen for Yakima.
.90 miles an hour, but inside. 2-0 is the count now. Diaz working to get the third out of this inning with runners at first and second. That was high, 90 miles an hour. He had a notion to swing at it, but a bit high, and it was a ball. So 3-0 is the count.
Indigo Diaz having a little bit of trouble shutting down this 7th.
Far ball 4, so Ellis walks, bringing up second baseman Tyler Bossetti. See if the crowd gets on him like they did last inning.
3 straight base runners with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Yakima trying to extend a 4-3 lead. Back-to-back singles and now a walk have loaded the bases. Diaz started the inning strong as Mike Spears is out to deliver a message. The inning started with a strikeout of Johnny DeLuca. Brad Beasley was hit by a pitch but then was caught stealing before these last 3 base runners.
Lucas Denny got on with a single, as did Toro Otsuka, and Mitch Ellis drew the walk, loading up the bases, all with 2 out.
They do have a right-hander just about ready, but they're going to give Diaz the Bossetti at bat.
So Bossetti grounds out to end the inning. So after the top of the 7th inning, it's the Yakima Valley Pippins 4, the Victoria HarbourCats 3. You're watching the Go Live broadcast. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park. You're watching the Go Live broadcast featuring the Victoria HarbourCats home to the Yakima Valley Pippins. We entered the bottom of the 7th inning with the Pippins holding a 4-3 lead. Kevin Collard, the designated hitter, up for the HarbourCats for the first at-bat of the bottom of this inning.
HarbourCats trailing by just a run after they got 2 on a Hunter Vanstall home run in the 6th inning.
Collard fouls that one out, and pitching still is Taylor Dollard for the Yakima Valley Pippins, but there is action in the Pippins bullpen.
The HarbourCats have 3 runs on 6 hits against him through 6 innings. Dollard has struck out 3.
Collard tonight got a single in the 2nd and grounded out in the 4th. A little high and inside. 2-1 the count with no outs in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss for Collard. That's 2-2.
The HarbourCats trying to maintain or extend their lead on first place tonight. They enter a game in front of Wenatchee.
Collard flies out to left, and he's gone. It's interesting that the HarbourCats are in the second half are 6-3 in first place. Wenatchee, the next team, is 3-2, so they played 4 fewer games, and the Apple Sox are 1 game back. And then the Port Angeles Lefties are 3-6, and they are 3 games back. But then it's Bellingham at 2-4, and they're 2.5 games back.
The HarbourCats had a very aggressive first half schedule. They played their first 27 games before, or they finished their first 27 games before anybody else, and at one point had played 6 more games than some of the other teams.
Hard to keep an accurate count on the standings with that. Cole Weiss at the plate for the HarbourCats. He takes a called strike. It's 0-2 on him now. Third baseman trying to get aboard. He grounded out for 2nd inning and in the 5th inning.
The schedules will even out a little bit more this weekend, as the HarbourCats will play 2 exhibition games.
Weiss fouls off to the right or left side. Yeah, they're playing the Burnaby Bulldogs Saturday and Sunday in exhibition play. It's a preview of the men's nationals that'll be held here at Royal Athletic Park towards the end of August.
August 23 to 27, the Baseball Canada Men's National Championship.
Weiss pops it foul again.
The top 10 men's teams in Canada descending on Victoria. The first of 2 this year and next year, they'll be hosted in Victoria. The Burnaby Bulldogs, the opponent of the HarbourCats on the weekend, will represent BC.
And the host team is the Victoria Mavericks. So it's a 2-2 count now on Cole Weiss, as Dollard continues to work into the 7th.
It's a good at-bat here by Cole Weiss.
Yeah, watch that one curved inside and low, so it's a 3-2 count now with 1 out. HarbourCats would love to get one across to tie the game. They're trailing 4-3. Weiss swings another one foul to pass over the left fence. Not the outfield fence, the left side fence.
Yakima has a left-hander in the bullpen. They're still going with right-handed starter Taylor Dollard.
He's given up 6 hits tonight. And that's another foul by Cole Weiss. He's making contact, but backwards instead of forwards.
Working an extended at-bat, which is valuable at this point in the ball game, with Dollard getting closer to the back end of his outing. Trying to be a base runner here with the HarbourCats down by 1.
Weiss tips it, stays alive.
Every foul ball means another chance, another pitch from Dollard, and the way Weiss will look at it, another chance for Dollard to make a mistake.
All this with 1 out. And he hits it to short, bobbles it, and Weiss gets on safely. So
that's a really tough pill to swallow there for Taylor Dollard. He appeared to win the battle with Weiss in 11 pitches, but unfortunately for him, Nick Playa could not handle the ball safely.
Bobbled
Successfully,
it at his feet. Yeah. E6,
and then
they rule
the
it.
throw was late over to first base.
So they rule that supply error. That evens the error count at 2 apiece tonight. This is the way the scoreboard stacks up. Yakima 4 runs on 8 hits and 2 errors. Victoria 3 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors. 4-3, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And that looks like it's going to be the day for Taylor Dollard. As we will step aside here as Yakima goes to the bullpen. We'll be right back in the bottom of the 7th.
Awesome time. This is your broadcasting all home games for the Victoria HarbourCats live out of the truck on GoLiveBroadcast.com. here's your 2016 Victoria HarbourCats Plays of the Year. Enjoy.
3-2 again, swung on, hit high and deep to left field. To the track, to the wall, Alcantara reaches up and pulls it back. A.J. Alcantara. Bunted third base side, Pleshkel steps up, goes to first in time. Swung on into left center field, it gets down. Cameron Cannon has walked off the Bandel. Up within center is Stone. He fires, but the tag is made by Guntrip. What a play by Riley Guntrip. Bellingham may contest. 1-0 pitch grounded to short. Jew to Floyd. Over to first to Front.
Set to resume the bottom of the 7th inning, and Jonathan has details of a Yakima pitching change.
The new right-hander for the Yakima Valley Pippins is Liam Herlihy. Right-hander makes his 6th appearance. 7 innings, 10 hits, 5 walks against 10 strikeouts, and working to a 10.28 ERA.
Bottom of the 7th, there's 1 out, and at the plate will be Riley Zajac, the left fielder.
Herlihy coming off of his sophomore year at Wenatchee Valley College.
So Zajac comes to the plate with Cole Weiss at first base, and Zajac is the potential go-ahead run.
6 1/3, 3 runs on 6 hits for the starter Taylor Dullard. A couple of walks, had 3 strikeouts.
Zajac struck out in the 3rd, and he flew out in the 5th. So this is his 3rd appearance tonight, hoping to get something going offensively for the HarbourCats. And it's a called strike, 82 mile an hour. That's like a pretty good slider catching the outside of the strike zone for strike 1.
Zajac second on the HarbourCats with 4 home runs. Tying run stands at first.
Zajac pops one to left and flies out. It looked like it had the potential to slice in there, but the left fielder for the Pippins, Brad Beasley, makes the catch for 2 out.
Pretty good swing there from Riley Zajac, but unfortunately just hit right at Beasley.
Catcher Shane McGuire at the plate now. He's flown out twice tonight in the 3rd and the 5th innings.
Yakima has solved him so far, came in batting .524.
And the first pitch is a fastball in there for strike 1. Just slightly inside, catching the strike zone nicely. Even the 1,300 umpires in the crowd couldn't argue that one. Early he gets an outside for strike 2.
Good job by the right-hander Liam Herlihy coming out of the bullpen with 1 out, now 2 outs.
McGuire looking at 2 strikes go by. Low into the ground, that's for ball 1.
The catcher Sandoval pushed that ball to his right side, and the runner at first base, Cole Weiss, had no thoughts about going to second. Weiss represents the tying run.
Herlihy getting ready to deliver the pitch to McGuire. And that's just a bit outside. Fastball 83 miles an hour, but just on the outside corner of the plate. Not quite nibbling that strike zone for a 2-2 count with 2 out.
Good pitch there from Herlihy.
And that's called strike, and that the umpires don't agree with that. That looked like the same pitch is the one before that he called the ball, and
That'll end the inning. As
so
we
after,
get-
oh, I'm sorry. So after 7 complete innings, it's the Pippins 4, the HarbourCats 3. You're watching Go Live broadcast. Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park as we continue this rubber match between the Victoria HarbourCats and the Yakima Valley Pippins. Going into the top of the 8th inning, the Pippins holding a 4-3 lead, and Jonathan Hodson has details on a Victoria pitching change.
It is the HarbourCats debut for right-hander Wyatt Boone. Boone was signed a couple of days ago for pitching reinforcement as the HarbourCats have lost a couple of arms recently. Wyatt Boone is a freshman commit of Seattle University. He stands 6 foot 185 and is a native of Corona, California.
Leading off the inning for the Pippins is the catcher, Tyler Sandoval. So far tonight he struck out in the 2nd, he grounded out in the 5th, and he got a base hit and scored a run in the 6th, or a run RBI base hit. Takes a strike for the first pitch as Boone catches the outside of that strike zone. It's a little bit low for ball 1.
Remains perfect night here in the top of the 8th inning. Perfectly clear. Flags blowing a little bit. Sun fading behind the left side of the stadium.
Strike 2. 83-mile-an-hour fastball. Yep, the field is completely in the shade now. The only sunshine is on the couple of boards right by the right field foul pole. Sandoval stays alive, fouling that one off. 1-2 the count, no out. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Yakima Valley Pippins holding a 4-3 lead in this rubber match of this 3-game series.
Sandoval 1 for 3 offensively with a run driven in and is thrown out 3 runners from behind the plate.
He got under that one. It looks like a pop-up to center. Andrew Schatz makes the catch for the first out as Tyler Sandoval flies out in the top of the 8th.
That'll bring in the shortstop, Nick Playa. Playa's been on base all 3 times today. Infield single in the 3rd, and then walks in the 5th and 6th innings.
And Boone issues a curveball, a 69-mile-an-hour curveball for strike 1, low and away. A little high for a fastball there, evening the count at 1-1. As Nick Playa. A hit and 2 walks so far for him this evening. Good job by McGuire to keep that one from getting past. No runners on base though. Playa always a threat offensively. Fouls it off. 2-2 the count.
A win for Yakima tonight would be valuable to them. It would put them up to 3-3 and keep them close in the South Division second half.
Boone tosses the ball outside. Thought it was a ball. The umpire called it a strike. So Boone strikes out Nick Playa. So that brings the top of the order, Dylan Plew, the first baseman, up.
Plew 1 for 4. Yakima enters the day 2 games back of first place Cowlitz. A similar situation happening in the South Division with Cowlitz first place at 4-1, Corvallis in second place at 7-2.
So again, the discrepancy in the number of games played early in the half.
Bend also at 5-4. Bend is potentially the hottest team in the West Coast League right now.
And Plew pops it up into left, and it's caught. So Plew flies out, ending the inning. So after the top of the 8th, it's the Pippins 4 and the HarbourCats 3. You're watching the Go Live broadcast. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park as we go into the bottom of the 8th inning, and with details on the Yakima pitching change, Jonathan Hudson.
The new left-hander for the Yakima Valley Pippins is left-hander Pete Manila. 4 appearances this summer for Manila, 8 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and working to a 1.03 ERA.
Top of the order at the plate for the HarbourCats, Harry Shipley, the shortstop. So far tonight, Harry has struck out in the first and grounded out in the third, and he walked in the 6th inning.
Lefty-lefty matchup here.
Shipley hits one into shallow left, and he gets on with a long base hit.
Shipley does a good job there going the other way against the left-hander, a good left-hander in Manila, leading off the 8th with a single. The HarbourCats need runners as Shipley represents the tying run at first base.
So it looks like Jake Gorella is stepping in as a pinch hitter.
Gorella will bat for Noah Pruitt. Pruitt exits 0 for 3. Gorella, the rising sophomore out of St. Louis, hitting .215 with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs.
And Gorella looks at a strike A slider going in there, 79 miles an hour. So we've got Harry Shipley on first base, Gorella at the plate with no out in the bottom of the 8th, and the HarbourCats down by 1 run, trailing 4-3. Big swing by Gorella, and that eludes him for strike 2.
This is a big spot for the HarbourCats. Would love to see Gorella find a way to advance the runner to second base at least with
Shipley,
the leadoff runner on.
Yeah, Shipley the potential tying run. And that one's outside. There was real estate between the edge of the plate and that one where he caught it, so that was definitely outside. 1-2 the count, none out, bottom of the 8th. And Gorella fouls it off. HarbourCats would love to win this one, not only for the win, but it would give them the series. As these two teams split the first 2 games, the Pippins winning the first game 12-6 after the HarbourCats built up a 6-1 first inning lead and then placed zeros right across the board after that as the Pippins clawed back to win that one, to their credit. And then last night in game 2, the HarbourCats were full marks for a 13-10 win and another slugfest. Outside for ball 2. That evens the count at 2-2 to Jake Gorella, who's pinch hitting for Noah Pruitt, so Jake will take over at second. As Pruitt grounded out twice and flew out his third at bat. Fouled it off, and that looked like it hurt too.
Another great battle here. This one between Manila and Gorella. Say that one 3 times fast.
Gorella fouling that one off looks like his left inner shin above the ankle, hopping around a bit, but he shook it off, ready to take a 2-2 pitch.
The HarbourCats have a leadoff single on board in the bottom of the 8th inning, trailing by a run. Gorella pinch hitting for Noah Pruitt.
Inside. And it goes to the backstop.
What we saw there was a swing and a miss at strike 3. It got away from Sandoval, so Gorella was automatically out because first base was occupied by Shipley, but Shipley was allowed to take second base.
That brings up the guy who hit the 2-run shot in the 6th, Hunter Vansaw. Tonight, Vansaw walked in the 1st, he flew out in the 4th, and then hit a 2-run shot in the 6th. And that 2-run shot made it a 1-run ball game. Hitting .389 on the season out of Mississippi State. Fouls it off to the left for strike 1.
These fans getting familiar with Hunter Vansaw this last week. You can hear and feel the anticipation ratchet up a little bit with the Vansaw at bat in a close game late.
That one just sinking away low outside for a ball, and now Vansaw wants to be careful because while you have a runner at second, there are 2 out. So you don't want to strand another runner, but the potential tying run.
Manila's been around the zone. Even his misses have been close.
That was inside. 81 miles an hour fastball. Inside for ball 2. 2-1 the count, 2 out. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning. HarbourCats trailing by a count of 4-3. Pippins have 8 hits on the night. HarbourCats 7. So it's a tight game compared to the first 2 games of this series.
Vansaw launched his 5th home run of the year in his previous at-bat.
And he launches another one, but it goes straight to left field, and that's the 3rd out. So Hunter Vansaw flies out to end the inning. After 8 complete innings, it's the Yakima Valley Pippins 4, the Victoria HarbourCats 3. You're watching Go Live Broadcast. We'll be back in a moment.
Apologies for that. That was the second out of the inning.
Counting my chickens before they hatch. Pruitt and Vansaw have gone out. Shipley's still on, having had a base hit and advancing to second. Andrew Schapp's at the plate right now. And he launches one to center. And Andrew Schapp's flies out. And the HarbourCats strand a runner. That ends the bottom of the 8th inning. And after 8 complete innings, it's the Pippins 4, the HarbourCats 3. We'll be back with the Go Live broadcast right after this. Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park as we head into the 9th inning of this Go Live broadcast game featuring the Victoria HarbourCats home to the Yakima Valley Pippins. Pippins holding a 4-3 lead, and with news on a Victoria pitching change, here's my broadcast colleague Jonathan Hodgson.
The new right-hander is Jack Taggett out of Kalamazoo College. Takes over for the 9th inning. This is his 8th appearance, as Johnny DeLuca singles on the first pitch. 8th appearance, 8 1/3 innings worked, 11 hits, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. He is 2-1 with a 6.48 ERA.
Johnny DeLuca, the first batter for the Pippins, just got a base hit. He's aboard with no outs to start off the 9th inning, and now at the plate is Brad Beasley, the left fielder. Fouls off to right for strike one.
Beasley 0 for 3 and has been hit by a pitch today. Reached base on a fielder's choice in the 3rd and then was picked off at 3rd base, or at 2nd base, sorry.
Beasley gets another base hit, and that advances the runner. So they got back-to-back singles. Beasley on first, DeLuca at second, none out in the top of the 9th.
3rd straight game Yakima is in double figures. That is their 10th hit. Middle of the order doing their job again. This is 4-hitter Lucas Denny. First and second, nobody out.
Denny, the designated hitter. And so far tonight, he struck out in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, got a single in the 6th, and a single in the 7th.
Yakima trying to extend their lead. It's just 4-3 right now in the top of the 9th.
Takes a high ball for ball 1. That was 77 miles an hour.
Jack Denny last night, of course, with 2 home runs.
Another ball just misses on the outside. So it counts 2-0 now. Runners at first and second with no out. Top of the 9th, 4-3, Yakima Valley leading.
Denny has a team-leading 5 home runs for Yakima.
The count now 3-0 with 3 straight balls to Denny. That was a nice fastball in there for strike one, 82 miles an hour. Found the strike zone, and not hard for the umpire to call that one. Right down the pipe, as they say.
The hot-hitting Tora Otska is on deck. Dangerous situation here for Taggett.
Taggett throwing another strike. That brings the count to 3-2. Looks like Taggett's starting to settle down a little bit after throwing some balls and putting men on.
Big pitch here, first and second, nobody out. 3-2 count.
Each team has blanked the last 2 innings after putting up some runs sporadically in the middle frames. 4-3 Yakima leads on the strength of 1 run in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. All ball. Victoria's runs coming 1 in the 4th and 2 in the 6th. It's 4-3. Yakima out-hitting the HarbourCats 10-7, each team committing 2 errors so far this evening.
DeLuca and Beasley have singled to lead off this inning.
Not out with Lucas Denny. He hits it to first. Advances the runners to 2nd and 3rd, but Denny grounds out.
The runners were both in motion on that pitch, and the motion on the base paths ensured that both runners successfully can move up on the ground ball. So a good job there by Yakima pressing the issue, and they get themselves 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
And a dangerous man at the plate for the Pippins, Tora Tsuka. He has 3 hits and got hit. So every at-bat for Tsuka, he's gotten aboard.
7 for 11 in the series, 4 walks, and the hit by pitch.
And that first pitch is ball 1.
Ryan McCrae has brought the infield in with the insurance run at 3rd base with 1 out here in the top of the 9th.
And he hits, Otska hits that out of the infield, and it's a 2-run RBI, or 2-run single.
Luca and Beasley both score, and that's a valuable 2 runs for Yakima. They now lead 6-3. Otska now 8 for 12 in this series.
And he's had a great night. That's his 4th hit, got hit, 2 RBIs on that last hit. So the HarbourCats now down 6-3. And Mitch Ellis hits it out of the infield and gets a long single, and Otska goes to 3rd.
It was a backhand play there for Tucker Johnson off the bag at first base. They give it a single, and with the good speed of Otska on base, he goes first to 3rd. So the wheels are still spinning for Yakima here in the top of the 9th.
And the Victoria bullpen is quiet. The Yakima bullpen is busy. At the plate now is Tyler Bassetti, struck out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th. Got a single in the 6th, grounded out in the 7th. Takes a strike.
Strike call, and then Shane McGuire took a look at 3rd base but did not deliver the throw as Weiss was not holding the runner on.
Runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out. And bunts it foul. Strike 2.
We saw that last night where Yakima counted a run on a squeeze play, and that's what they tried there, but it was bunted foul. Good speed on 3rd base, and Tora Otsuka.
And what a night he's had.
4 for 4 on base 5 times.
And he's making moves to steal home. And he went around, Bassetti struck out.
First strikeout for Taggett. 2 outs here in the 9th.
Very timely. Brings Tyler Sandoval, the catcher, to the plate. Sandoval struck out in the second. He grounded out in the fifth. Got an RBI single in the sixth and flew out in the eighth.
2 runs have scored here in the top of the ninth, increasing Yakima's lead to 6-3.
Sandoval watching for ball one.
Yakima now finds themselves in the driver's seat for the series victory. Would take a big inning for the HarbourCats in the bottom half.
Strike one. Chicago would like to get this final out of the inning and then go to the dugout and put on the rally caps. They've done it before.
It'll be 5, 6, 7 at the plate to lead off the bottom of the ninth when we get there.
And they got him at second. They threw out the runner at second for the third out, and that prevented any more offense from the Pippins. So after the top of the ninth inning, it's the Yakima Valley Pippins 6, the Victoria HarbourCats 3. We'll be back with the bottom of the ninth on the Go Live broadcast in a few moments. Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park as we go into the bottom of the ninth with the HarbourCats trailing 6-3 to Yakima Valley, and with news on the Yakima pitching change, Jonathan Hudson.
The closer is on the mound for the Yakima Valley Pippins, looking for his 5th save of the season, is right-hander Connor White. He's a rising junior out of Portland. On the year, Connor White, 12 appearances, 11 2/3, 9 innings, 6 walks against an impressive 17 strikeouts, and a 2.31 ERA.
Tucker Johnson at the plate for the HarbourCats to lead off the bottom of the ninth, and he takes ball one. So far tonight, Johnson has flown out in the second, got an RBI single in the fourth, and he struck out in the sixth. Fouls it deep to right. Is it going to make it in? It just slices foul. And the Pippins right fielder, who is Johnny DeLuca, ran miles to try and track that down, but it was just out of his reach. Still fell in the confines of the field, but just far enough to elude DeLuca. 1-1 the count on Tucker Johnson.
The first 3 hitters in this inning for the HarbourCats are combined 2 for 9. As they'll need to string a few together, trailing by 3.
Johnson fouls that one off for strike 2. 2-2 the count now.
A loss would drop the HarbourCats to 6-4 in the second half.
Johnson awaits the pitch. And it's outside. So it's a 3-2 count to pitch on Tucker Johnson, leading off the bottom of the ninth. The HarbourCats hoping to rally, trailing 6-3 as the Pippins put 2 across in the top of the inning.
A swing pitch in the inning right here. 3-2 to the leadoff hitter. A lot easier to manage an inning when you get your leadoff man.
Hit solidly but to short, and there's the put out at first, so Tucker Johnson grounds out to start the bottom of the ninth.
And
that
White
brings up Kevin Collard, the designated hitter.
White does get his leadoff man. This is Kevin Collard, 1 for 3. And if the HarbourCats do indeed drop this one, it looks like it might drop into a tie for first place, as Wenatchee is leading Cowlitz 2-0 in the ninth inning at the moment.
Wenatchee playing about 4 fewer games than the HarbourCats. So Collard got a base hit in the second, grounded out in the fourth, and he flew out in the seventh. So the DH hoping to get aboard with his 4th at bat of the night. Fouls it off. There's another one of those off the mesh into the crowd. Often that's entertains the crowd as much as the action on the field, watching people go after foul balls. Outside for ball 2. 88-mile-an-hour fastball missing the target, as Kevin Collard would love to get aboard. 1 out already in the bottom of the ninth. The HarbourCats trailing by 3 runs. That one just missed for ball 3. 3-1 the count on Kevin Collard.
Paul Weiss on deck.
And Collard goes down swinging. Didn't go down quite. It was 3-1 the count. That brings the count to a full at 3-2. But Collard swinging for the fences. Collard makes contact, and that slice is foul, and it's probably going to go out of play to the left, and it does. Would love to straighten that out a bit and get more distance. But I think right now Collard is just hoping to get a base hit and get something started here. Pippins have rattled off 12 hits tonight to the HarbourCats 7. Pippins leading 6-3 in the bottom of the ninth with 1 out. Full count on Collard. Here's the pitch. And he hits it to second. Doesn't quite get out of the infielder, and ground out for Collard. So Cole Weiss comes up now, and
good range again there on that play from Tyler Bassetti, going far to his left into the outfield to make the stop and deliver the throw. 2 out now in the bottom of the ninth for Cole Weiss.
Weiss is grounded out twice and got a hit on an error so far this evening. Takes a fastball for strike 1, 89 miles an hour.
Little bit of house cleaning here. The next broadcast on Go Live Broadcast comes your way on Saturday night, 6:35. First of a 2-game series with the Burnaby Bulldogs, a non-league series. And then game 2 comes your way Sunday at 1:05.
Burnaby Bulldogs, designated Team BC in the upcoming men's nationals. They'll be played here at Royal Athletic Park August 23rd to 27th.
Counts.
2-1 to count. Sorry, Jonathan. Weiss grounds out to third, and that's the game. So we'll give it to Jonathan for a quick recap and say goodnight.
Yakima takes the game by a final score of 6-3. They win 2 out of 3. They are up to 3-3 in the second half, staying close in the South Division. The HarbourCats will drop to 6-4, likely dropping into a tie for first place, as Wenatchee, a game back, is leading 2-0 in the 9th inning in their game, and shakes it on the infield at the end of the series. Final lines: 6 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors for Yakima, 3 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors for the HarbourCats. Taylor Dullard picks up the win, and Jack Owen is defeated for the first time this year. Next action comes your way 6:35 on Saturday night, the first of 2 non-league games here at Royal Athletic Park against the Burnaby Bulldogs. Steve, it's been a fun night, not the outcome the HarbourCats were expecting, but it's been a great night, been fun.
For once the scores stayed in single digits.
They played a little bit more of a straightforward game tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So that should be about all from Royal Athletic Park tonight. I'm Jonathan Hudson for my partner Steve Duffy, for Chris Jaycox in the truck, and our crew here at Royal Athletic Park. Thanks for watching 6-3 Yakima tonight, and we will talk to you again on Saturday.
Good night.